Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. Today, we're tackling a piece of AV tech that silently powers some of the most impressive display setups you've probably ever seen. It's really an unsung hero, I think, simplifying what could easily be just a total wiring nightmare. Our mission today really is to pull back the curtain on the WolfPack 4K 30Hz 16x16 HDMI Matrix Switch. We'll be sort of sifting through its detailed capabilities, to discover not just what it does, but why it's absolutely crucial for anyone managing multiple screens. And importantly, how it eliminates some truly hidden headaches you might not even know exist.
That's right. I mean, imagine a scenario where you need to manage 16 different video sources. Could be cable boxes, media players, computers, whatever, and set them to 16 different screens, maybe in a restaurant or a control room or even a really big home theater setup. This device is basically the central brain for that. It lets you orchestrate literally thousands of unique input-to-output combinations. It's the kind of tech that makes something really complex look, well, effortless.
Okay.
Okay, let's unpack this.
So if I'm picturing this kind of spider web of cables and, confused signals, what's the core magic this WolfPack Matrix Switcher performs? How does it cut through all that mess?
Well, at its heart, it's a highly intelligent router for high-definition audio and video. That's the simplest way to put it. You're taking any of your 16 HDMI sources and routing them to any of your 16 displays using standard HDMI cables. And because it's a matrix switcher, that gives you incredible flexibility.
Okay.
So you can send, say, a single input to just one screen. Or you could broadcast that same input to all 16 screens simultaneously.
Yeah.
Or even create really unique combinations where, almost every screen is showing something different. It's really about total control over your visual real estate.
That level of flexibility, that sounds like it instantly solves the logistical nightmare, just managing dozens of screens. But beyond just routing, what's the maybe bigger problem it's solving? Thinking about the integrity of the signal itself. Because I imagine pushing a high-definition signal across multiple devices, different cable lengths, that could introduce issues, right?
Exactly. And that's where the deeper value really comes in. What's often overlooked in these complex AV setups is just signal degradation. It happens. So as an HDMI signal passes through a device like this WolfPack Matrix, it actually gets rebuilt. It's retimed, its levels are compensated, phase errors get corrected.
Wow.
And any data jitter is essentially eliminated. So the output isn't just a pass-through signal. It's a perfectly regenerated, brand new HDMI signal, just like it was coming directly from the original source device.
Okay.
And this prevents those weird issues like sparkles on the screen or ghosting or color shifts you might see in less robust systems. Those can be an absolute nightmare to troubleshoot later on.
So it's not just a traffic cop for signals, it's also kind of a signal lifeguard, making sure it arrives perfectly. Okay, now let's talk raw power. What kind of visual and audio fidelity can this system actually push through? What are the specs?
It's pretty robust. For visuals, it supports 4K resolution at 30 Hz. Specifically, the spec says at 4.2.0 chroma subsampling.
Okay, 4.2.0, what does that mean in practical terms?
Right, so 4.2.0 refers to how color information is compressed to save bandwidth. It's perfectly fine for most dynamic video content, think movies, live sports, surveillance feeds. Generally looks great. It's maybe not what you'd ideally use if you needed super sharp static text or really detailed computer graphics where uncompressed 4.4.4 color might be preferred. But for most video, it's ideal.
Gotcha. So good for video, maybe less critical for fine text. What else?
It also supports 1920 by 1200 resolution, which is common, and it's compliant with HDMI 1.4 and HDCP 1.4 protocols.
HDCP. That's important for protected content, right? Like Blu-rays.
Exactly. That ensures compatibility with most existing 4K content and devices, especially for things like Blu-rays or streaming services that require copy protection.
And for deeper colors, it has deep color support for 48, 36, 30, and 24-bit.
Okay. And the audio side.
Audio is well covered, too. It handles everything from standard LPCM 7.1 channel all the way up to high-definition formats like Dolby True HD, Dolby Digital, and DTS HD Master Audio. So you get a really immersive sound experience to match the video. Nice. And for those thinking about, where this powerful piece of hardware might actually live in an installation, it's designed to be pretty discreet, isn't it? It doesn't take up much space.
Absolutely. Yeah, the chassis height is only 1 U.
Just 1 U.
Which means it takes up just a single slot in a standard server rack, keeps installations incredibly neat and compact, and maybe just as importantly, it operates without a fan.
Oh, completely silent.
Completely silent, yeah. This is a huge advantage for environments where noise is a real concern. Think like a quiet data center or a high-end home theater, or even just behind a bar where you don't want fan noise.
Right.
Plus, it switches between sources really quickly, says about 2 seconds, and crucially, without any disruptive flashing or black screens during the switch.
Ah, that's key.
That seamless transition is really key for a premium viewing experience. Nobody wants screens blinking out.
Fast, silent, powerful. Okay. But still, managing 16 inputs and 16 outputs. That still sounds like potentially a lot to keep track of for the operator. What kind of creative control does this system offer them? Can they really tailor the viewing experience in intuitive ways?
Yeah, it offers a really good range of control options, actually. You can use the buttons right there on the front panel for direct access.
Okay.
There's an included IR remote control. You've got RS-232 control for integrating with professional control systems, and full Ethernet control, too, which includes dedicated apps and a web-based graphical user interface, the WUI.
A web interface. Okay, that sounds useful.
And one critical feature, especially thinking about those large-scale installations, is its ability to manage EDIDs.
EDIDs, right. That's extended display identification data.
Exactly. Think of EDID as the sort of digital handshake between a display and a source device. It tells the source exactly what resolutions and audio formats the screen can actually handle. Sometimes, when you have lots of screens, maybe different brands, different ages, this handshake can get confused.
Yeah.
And that leads to problems like blank screens, or the wrong resolution showing up, or maybe no audio.
Right, the classic, why isn't this screen working problem.
Exactly. So this matrix helps solve that by letting you teach it the correct settings. You can manage the ED information, maybe copy it from a display that works well, or use presets. It ensures every screen gets a signal it can actually display properly. And this ED management is also available directly on that WFGUI, which makes troubleshooting far less frustrating for the installer or the user.
That EDU management definitely sounds like a potential lifesaver for installers. Absolutely. But are there any common pitfalls or misconfigurations that even a smart system like this can't entirely prevent? What's maybe the #1 mistake users make when setting this up, even with all these features?
That's a really good question. While the EDD management solves a lot, I'd say the biggest pitfall is often not fully understanding the lowest common denominator effect in a mixed display environment.
Lowest common denominator?
Yeah. So if you have, say, some older 1080p screens mixed in with your newer 4K ones, the system, by default, might output only 1080p to all screens, just to ensure they all get a signal, even if some could handle 4K.
Ah, okay, so it plays it safe.
It plays it safe, exactly.
Yeah.
The mistake is not actively going in and using that ED learning function or the presets to optimize for your specific setup, like telling it, okay, these screens can take 4K, send it to them, but keep 1080p for these older ones.
Oh.
It takes a little bit of initial setup, maybe some tweaking in the web GUI, but it prevents that common frustration of, why aren't my 4K screens showing 4K?
Got it. So a bit of configuration avoids that lowest common denominator trap. Makes sense. So once everything's up and running smoothly, what about customizing the experience for day-to-day operations?
Yeah, there's some nice touches there too. You can rename the inputs and output.
Oh, that's handy.
Which is fantastic for organization, right? Imagine calling input main cable box instead of just input 1. Much clearer. And for setups you use all the time, it offers 10 save and recall presets. The description calls them configuration scene-saving settings.
Scenes, okay.
So for instance, a sports bar manager could have a Sunday football preset that puts specific games on specific TVs around the bar. And then, with a single button press, switch to maybe a concert night preset that puts a music channel on most screens.
Ah, I see. Instant environment transformation.
Exactly. It's about making those complex changes really quick and easy for the operator.
That's where the real power for an operator comes in, I guess. Less fiddling, more managing the experience. So what does this all mean for someone looking to actually use this technology in the real world? Where do we really see a 16x16 HDMI Matrix Switcher like this truly shine? Give us a specific scenario.
Well, this device is really tailor-made for significant installations where dynamic content is key.
Yeah.
Take a large sports bar, like we mentioned. That's a perfect example.
Right.
Imagine trying to manually switch 16 different TVs to 16 different games or sources during peak hours. Or trying to quickly put the one big game across all the screens when something exciting happens.
Yeah, that sounds chaotic.
Totally. This system makes it effortless. The manager, maybe from a control panel or even a tablet using the web interface, can instantly change every screen to the main game, or show different games on different screens in different zones, or route custom advertising to specific displays.
All very quickly.
All very quickly.
Yeah.
It's not just about convenience, it's really about elevating the customer experience and also operational efficiency. No one's running around trying to find the right remote.
Makes sense.
So you'll find this as the backbone in places like that. Restaurants, casinos, bowling alleys, fitness centers with lots of screens, malls, even large places of worship or corporate data centers. And of course, those elaborate home theaters.
Okay. And beyond just managing the video signals themselves, it sounds like it plays well with other systems. Like it can be part of a bigger picture.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, it's really built for seamless integration. That RS-232 port we mentioned, that allows it to work with many third-party control systems.
Yeah.
You know, the big names like AMX, Control4, Crestron, RTI, and others. So it can become part of a whole building or whole house automation system. And for the really experienced AV pros, there's even an RS-232 script available, apparently, so they can write custom drivers if needed.
Custom drivers, wow.
Which means it can truly become part of a totally bespoke automation setup. And you know, this actually raises an interesting point for our listeners, maybe something to think about.
Oh, yeah. What's that?
Well, for an end user, maybe someone planning a whole house system or a large commercial control system, if you find the quotes for that full integration are, you know, extremely expensive, which they often can be,
Right.
you could potentially save maybe thousands of dollars on these larger systems by purchasing the specialized hardware yourself, like this WolfPack Matrix Switcher. Buy it directly.
Okay. So source the hardware separately.
Right. And then you hire a third-party installer or programmer, specifically just for the software programming and the final installation labor. It's kind of a strategic way to leverage expert knowledge for the complex part, the programming, while keeping a closer eye on your budget for the actual hardware. You're separating the hardware acquisition from the often quite complex and therefore costly software integration.
That's a really practical tip, sort of unbundling the process. Interesting. So this deep dive, it's really shown us how the WolfPack 4K 30Hz 16x16 HDMI Matrix Switch isn't just, you know, a piece of hardware. It's more like a silent command center, providing seamless and incredibly flexible control over these really complex multi-screen environments. It really is the kind of technology that when it's working perfectly, you never even notice it's there, but it's the thing making your sports bar experience or your casino visit or even your home theater just effortlessly engaging. It truly feels like the unsung hero behind the screen.
Absolutely. And when you consider just the sheer number of ways this single device can route and, importantly, regenerate video and audio signals, it becomes clear it's not just about signal distribution, is it? It's really about crafting specific, dynamic visual experiences that are tailored perfectly to any space. It gives operators the power to completely transform a room's atmosphere with just, you know, the push of a button or a tap on a screen. Think about that silent precision hidden behind every seamless channel change you see in a busy venue. It's really a testament to how specialized engineering, specialized hardware, makes something that actually incredibly difficult look easy. It kind of makes you wonder, doesn't it, what other invisible technologies are out there right now shaping our experiences, just seamlessly translating complex intentions into what feel like effortless realities